Hey, welcome back everybody, Cynical Manor here. So you want to be a KA-50 pilot. Well, let's show you how to get the thing started. Today we're at we're in the KA-50, and I've got the traditional black shark colors going. Isn't that slick looking? Yeah, buddy. Alright, let's jump into the cockpit and see how to fire this thing out. Alright, so we're in the cockpit. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go down here to your right hand side. We're kind of going to do an overlay like we always do, right to left. It'll be a little bit of back and forth, but not a whole lot. So you're going to flip your two battery switches. You're going to go ahead and turn those on. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to turn on your fuel. So you're going to turn the forward aft on and the fuel quantity. Then you're going to turn this whole row on here. That's all your radios and your data link and your seat ejection here. Then you're going to turn your fuel shutoffs on, and we're going to turn the APU on and leave that cover up. Next thing we're going to do, go up here and we're going to turn our fire suppression system on. You're going to go right on here, turn the IFF on, the nav on. Go ahead and sling that beacon on and let everybody know we're about to start up. Your standby SAI is on. And the rest of these you can kind of turn on as you want. These are all your lights. Your EEG left and right, we'll turn those on. And then we'll come back here to the back panel. On the back panel, the hydraulic transition power, turn that down, close the cover. You're going to go up to where it says L40, turn that on. UV26 operate, turn that on, close the cover. And then up here to INU and INU heat, we're going to turn those on. Now this here that we turn on, that was our weapons. So if we go to use our weapons, those are functional. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the front here. Saw this alarm. Look at the front here. We're going to turn our ABRIS on. Okay. Then we're going to look up at the top panel. Go ahead and flip our lights on to 100%. And depending on where you are, if it's cold or going to be dust out, I go ahead and throw my dust on. That way, suck up a bunch of dust into the engine. And then we'll look over on the left-hand panel. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to start that old APU. We're going to go ahead and shut the door. You're going to hit right control C. That'll shut your door for you. So we're going to go ahead and hit start because it's in the middle here. That's for APU. Start, and we'll look outside. We'll look at that APU fire up. Nice little flame there. And then while that's firing up, this is your gauge here. Once it gets leveled out here at about 6,000, you can see all your APU on, oil normal, all that good stuff. So we're ready to go on that. So the next thing you need to do is take your rotor brake off. Just left click that. Okay, while we're here, we'll go ahead and turn our TV and stuff on. Now it's not going to come on until later, but so once we're turning that on, we'll go over here back to the toggle switch, and we'll click it left click one time, and that goes over to the left engine. So we'll hit start, and you'll see this dial start to move here in a second. There it goes. When it gets down to 2,000 RPMs, we throw in our fuel. It's at 2,000. So left side, we're going to kick that in. It's going to introduce fuel into the system. And you can see the blades spinning up there. So that'll get to about, I think it gets to about 8,000 RPMs. Or maybe about 7,500, 7,300, somewhere in there. Stabilizes, so that's stabilized. Go ahead and toggle, left click on our toggle again. That goes over to the right engine. Hit start. And the same thing with this one. We'll wait till it gets to 2,000 RPMs and introduce fuel. Alright, 2,000 RPMs. We'll go ahead and throw that fuel on. You can see that coming alive there. While that's all happening, we'll go down here. Go ahead and turn our navigation to operate. Throw our data link switch on. We're a flight of 1 today, so I could leave it off, or I always go over to commander. Go ahead and turn our bank hold on, or pitch hold on, and our heading hold. Alright, so that second engine stabilized. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go over here. This is your throttles. You cannot click on them. But if you hit page up twice, that puts you at normal throttle. We'll silence that alarm. Okay, and that puts you around the 8,000 mark. That's what I was thinking earlier, but anyway. So once that's there, you're operating at normal temperature, normal RPMs for the engines. We'll go ahead and throw on our left and right generators. You'll see your TV kick on. And now we don't need the APU anymore. So we'll click this twice again, put it back in the middle, and hit APU shutdown, or shut off. And you can see that the APU is dying over here, and it's off. So then we'll come back over here to the APU fuel switch, turn that off and close that. And as you see, it's good to go. So at this point, turn my data link on to all. I adjust my flares how I like them. I usually run 4. And then one thing I did forget is we want to uncage our secondary artificial horizon. We'll just twist that to the left or down on your mouse wheel until it uncages there. So at this point, you're ready to fly. So there's a couple ways you can taxi. You can hover taxi. You can wheel taxi, or you can just take right off. So we'll hover taxi out to the runway, and runway's over there to our left. So I'll pull up the this so you can see kind of what I'm doing on the stick. So what I normally do is about right there, I go ahead and trim the aircraft. And that kind of keeps the aircraft in a neutral place. So I'll take our brakes off. We'll give it about, I don't know, about 2,000 RPMs on the collective. We'll go ahead and start turning. And you do have to go a little stick input in this along with the rudders to get her to turn. So we'll just taxi on down. And the farther you push her forward, the faster she's going to go. She's just creeping along. We can give her a little bit more. Oops. Looking at the instruments and not where I'm going. Give her a little more collective, about 3,000 or so. Just to pick up some speed. So we're going to taxi out here, take a left on the runway, and we'll then depart. Clear left, and we're clear right. Alright, So we'll go ahead and start turning left. All right. See if you jerk it to the left or the right while you're taxiing, kind of moves around. So you gotta give that input of those rudders. All right, we'll go ahead and brake here. Pull the collective back. Now, generally, there's a couple ways to fly. You can fly without the flight director or with the flight director. I generally fly with the flight director unless I'm hovering. That's about the only time I don't use the flight director. Just because I like to maneuver this thing like it's meant to be maneuvered, like a combat helicopter. So as we're holding the brakes, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give her about 7,000 to 9,000 on the collective. I think about 9. And she'll start to pick up. And just kind of keep giving her some power. A little forward momentum. We'll go ahead and lift our gear. And you're flying. We'll go ahead and trim her out. Just wanted to look to the right a little bit. The faster you go, you can kind of get off the trim a little bit. And I just keep trimming her out. My stick is at neutral. My hands are actually off the controls. I'm climbing a little bit, so I'll pull back on the collective some. That's it. She's not a bad helicopter to fly. We'll go ahead and in the turn, you might have to give her a little collective. This is kind of a sharp turn. That's it. Now, it took me a couple of days really to get the hang of the way this thing flies. Currently, I'm working on the high and trying to learn how to fly it. Whew, that's a whole different thing. Animal. Whole different animal. But practice, the best thing I would say to do when you're learning to fly the KA-50, get you an airfield, whichever one you choose. And just make circuits around the airport. Learn how to turn. Learn how to slow down. So to slow down in the helicopter, you're going to pull back on the cyclic. Now you notice we're climbing. So you're going to want to reduce collective as well when you're doing that. And I'll trim her out. You see she's got kind of a nose up attitude. And I'll pull her back again. And I'll trim her again. For some reason my trim's not working. Alright, and then you lose a lot of, when you get slow in the helicopter, you lose a lot of lift, so you got to keep your eye on your VVI, vertical vector indicator. So we're still dropping a little bit, but we're almost in a hover. We're going off to the left, and I'm still in the flight director mode. As you can see, we're pretty much hovering. I can turn the flight director off and then turn on my hover mode. And you can see we're hovering. A little bit. We're kind of going off to the left. So we'll just kill that. Or the right, I'm sorry. But then we'll turn my flight director back on and kill that. And we'll just give her a little power, a little collective, give her a little left rudder. Start trimming the aircraft. Oops, sorry. And we're back to flying. Normally I'm not this sloppy, but I'm trying to talk and show you guys and all that stuff, so but just practice. So like what I do is when I was practicing, I'd fly the pattern. I just do left circuits around the airport, however you want to do them. I would suggest probably not flying as low as I am, because I'm only a couple hundred feet off the ground. But you know, take it slow and just fly the pattern. That way you can learn how to turn. This is kind of an aggressive turn, but you can learn how to turn and come in. Now say we're going low. We're going to hit this building. More collective. Pull back on the stick. She'll climb. That's how you avoid obstacles. So, hopefully this video is helpful for you. I kind of got a little into the flying aspect of it, but it was really just a startup and taxi procedure and how to take off. So if you want to see more about the K-50, some tutorials on it, please let me know. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.